Yes, people. What we saying, man? Welcome back to today's Premier League preview for the weekend. Obviously, a big weekend of football. Make sure you guys have smashed the likes on the stream if you've not done so already. Make sure you've subscribed to the channel as well if you are new. Hope you guys are all doing well, man. Yeah, we're gonna have a look at the fixtures for the weekend. Obviously, we already had a game yesterday, which was Newcastle versus Brighton. Brighton getting smacked up again, bro. 4-1. I mean, the one game that they've actually done well in recently, it does us a massive solid.
Yeah, I feel like we should help them out maybe when we go down there and help them in their pursuit of the European football, because they did us a big favour there.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, if we get it wrapped up, on Sunday, then maybe we can maybe do something. Maybe we can talk. But yeah, we need to get it.
Let Calvino loose, man. Let Calvino loose.
Oh yeah, I mean, Jesus, that would seriously help him. Let's let's have a look. Guys, let's have a look at the fixtures then for this weekend. Let me zoom in a bit. So we'll start off, where are we? Tottenham versus Brentford. So that's 7th against 9th. Brentford, of course, have had a cracking season. Unlikely that they'll be able to finish any higher than 9th, because Aston Villa only need like 2 draws or a win to finish above Brentford. But they've had a great season. And they've not faded out either. You know what I mean? If you look at the recent form there, bro, only 1 loss in the last 5, 3 wins as well against a Spurs side that has just collapsed. They've just absolutely collapsed, bro.
Yeah. Spurs are a joke, man. I just did a show there with Henry, who's a big Spurs fan. He was telling me about all the problems that I wasn't even aware of. Like, they've got some deep problems, that club, and they've interviewed 3 managers. I think there's some guy called Slot. Do you ever hear of him? Slot? You on mute?
I'm muted. Sorry, Slot, did you say?
Yes, Slot. Maybe the chat can help me out. Is it some? I think his name is with A.
Second name is Slot.
Yeah. They're looking at getting him in at the minute. I don't know where. Does it say where he's from? Is it AZ Alkmaar?
Feyenoord. Yeah.
Yeah, they're also looking at the AZ Alkmaar manager. But Brentford, man, they've had an unbelievable season. I mean, not many people would have predicted them to be where they are, but listen. They're without Ivan Toney now, but they're kind of on the beach at the same time.
True. Yeah, they are on the beach. They just want to make sure they finish strong, man. I mean, finish above Fulham, and I think that'll be a decent season for them. Well, it's a decent season anyway, but like they don't want to just like completely collapse in it, completely collapse. So yeah, that's early kickoff that as well tomorrow, guys. Tottenham versus Brentford, so could be a good game. Who knows? We'll see. Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Now this could be a real good game. This is a 3 p.m. kickoff tomorrow. Obviously, Liverpool still in the hunt for the top 4. Ain't looking good. They are going to need United to drop points in multiple games here, but they need to keep up their challenge just in case United do drop points. They're going to be playing an Aston Villa side that did have a little bit of a push for the Champions League, and then they kind of collapsed. They did win the last game, but I think they're kind of on the beaches as well. But great side, and in fact, I've seen all the videos coming out now about manager of the year. I mean, Emery's got to be up there on the shortlist, bro, because he's done a fantastic job. When he took over, they were like the relegation zone, and he's got in there, Emery, and he's took them up the league, and for a week or two started having conversations about possibly getting in the Champions League. They went on a mad run.
No, they definitely had a massive purple patch, Aston Villa, and like with the money they've spent over the last 3, 4, 5 years, like relegation would have been a complete and utter embarrassment. So the fact that they were down there at all in the first place was a disaster. But he came in, he turned it around, man. He turned it around. I mean, I don't think anybody was expecting, including Villa fans or the owners, for Emery to make the push that he did. But I don't think it's dead rubber for them, because if they get a win, they could get some sort of European football, and I think that's what they would want, some sort of European football. To get that from a relegation conversation would be absolutely huge. I don't know about manager of the season. I don't know about that, but I definitely give him the credit for the job he's done. It is absolutely class. But it should be a good game. I've got eyes on Spurs because they're just entertaining. They're just entertaining at this stage. They keep the gift that keeps on giving.
I mean, he's averaged 1.96 points per match, Emery. 114 drawn 3, lost 6. I mean, that's a really, really good record. 1.96.
When did he come in again? What was it, before Christmas or after Christmas?
I'm not 100% sure, bro. If he was in charge for the whole year, he would have averaged a final point score of 74 points in the season. That's what he's averaging, 74 points a season. Look at the table, bro. He would have been third.
No, we know with Emery that if he goes to a good club with a good structure, he can do a good job. The Arsenal thing didn't work out for him because they were kind of in limbo. They weren't sure what direction they wanted to go. They're in kind of a grey area. But, at Sevilla, all that kind of thing. And was it Sevilla? Was it Sevilla? Or it was Sevilla, wasn't it?
Sevilla, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. He smashed it with Sevilla. Absolutely smashed it with them. And now he's doing a really good job with Villa. Thing is with Villa, man, they have peas. Villa are caked. They have big cash. So if they back him this summer and get in a few players they think would suit his system and play the way he wants, they could be a problem next year for a lot of teams. I'm not saying title race, of course, but that kind of top 6, they could do what Brighton did this season. No problem.
I agree. And you know what? If they don't get European football, they could be right up there. Challenge. Like as I say, if you look at his points per game, he's managed 25 matches in the Premier League for Aston Villa. If you average his
Villarreal was LB, sorry.
Yeah. He was at Seville though. If you average out his points per game over a 38-game season, he's in the Champions League. He gets Aston Villa in the Champions League. So that's how good he's done. So I think that maybe Aston Villa next season could be a team to look out for because, with Emery, and they will spend money. They've got money in the bank. They will spend money. That could be an interesting one. I think top 6 has to be the aim for Aston Villa next season. Liverpool, shocking season. Fair play to them, though. They have turned it around, but have they turned it around 1 or 2 games too late? They're on a great run right now. Look at the form guide. Best form in the league, joint with City. But, United, look at them. They only need a couple more wins, and they've got that top 4 secure. So you'd still put your money on United to finish in there. But, with Liverpool breathing down the necks, who knows? Who do you think will get top 4? You reckon United will seal it?
I mean, surely to God, United cannot slip out of the top 4 after how long? I mean, I don't think have they had a week at all, a game week where they weren't in the top 4 this season? I'm pretty sure they haven't. It would be a mega embarrassment to let that slip, but I would love it. I would absolutely love it if Liverpool pipped them to top four. That would be so unbelievably funny after all the bullshit that their fans have come out with this season. After they knocked Barcelona, we're built different and partying in the car park and eras come to an end. And for them not to get top four after all that chat, it would be absolutely brilliant. But I think they've left it too late, Liverpool. 9-game winning streak they're on right now, I believe. But I think they've just left it. I think another 2 game weeks. If they started this 2 game weeks beforehand, I'd be putting my money on Liverpool because they're good under pressure. But I think
agree.
it's too late.
I know they're just running out of games, unfortunately for them. We'll come to Everton in a second. In the meantime, let's take a look at the Bournemouth United game, given that it is relevant to the current conversation. United, of course, sat there in 4th, 2 wins in 5, not great form. Bournemouth, my tip, back in sort of January, February when we did that video, bro. You remember when we did that video? Who's getting relegated? I was like, don't say Bournemouth, man. Bournemouth will stay up, and they've done a fantastic job. Gary O'Neill getting a 1-year contract extension. They're sat in 14th place there. Absolutely big job. Well done to Gary O'Neill. And of course, United, we spoke about it a little bit there. Currently sat in 4th. I think United will get the win just because, even though it's at Bournemouth, I know the form's not the worst in the world. 2 wins in 5. You know what I mean? It's not too bad for a team that's sitting in 14th, but I think they just don't have anything to fight for now, and United do. So I think in the end, United will get that win.
Is it Old Trafford, is it?
No, it's at Bournemouth.
Yeah. No, see, the thing is, United are still fighting. They need to scrap for that top 4. And Bournemouth, excuse the pun, but they're on the beaches. Like it's job done for Bournemouth, man. They're chilling. Bournemouth, man, I have to give it credit. Absolutely smashed it. And it's been quite cold the way they've done it. Their owner, I think it was, did some interview midway through the season when they were looking nailed on for it. And he said it. He said it with chest. He was like, "We're not going down." He was like, "I'll tell you now for a fact, we are not going down." And then they go and do this. And then I did a show with a Bournemouth fan before we played them last time. I can't remember what it was. When we went down there, we beat them recently, and he said, "Listen, we're not going down. We're not going down. We're Gary O'Neill's absolutely smashing it. So you got to give him mega." Pats on the back for that.
You do, and it's a pretty interesting one because I've told you this before, but I remember listening to Talk Sport, and a lot of the Bournemouth fans are not happy that he's staying next year, which is kind of crazy because he kept him up. Well, that's football fans for you. Let's have a look at this big clash down at the relegation zone, guys. Everton away at the Molineux. Wolves obviously safe. Getting Lopetegui in was a great move for them, and that actually. They're another team for me who should be aiming for top 10. They've got money in the bank. They can spend cash. They've got a good core of players. They've got a good manager. And I think that they should be aiming for top 10 next season. They've not had a great season, of course. Started really poorly. But with Lopetegui next season, transfer window under his belt, you've got to be expecting top 10 there, surely, aren't you? That has to be the goal.
I think Lopetegui is one for the future. I really think he's a manager for the. I love the way he behaves in the sideline. I love his passion for the game. I love the way he conducts his team. I think people probably don't talk about him enough because of the seasons that say De Zerbi has had and Emery has had, but Lopetegui silently has been doing a top job at Wolves. And I think you're right, man. Some decent recruitment for them this summer. I don't know what kind of cash you need for that, but some decent recruitment. And you don't know. You just don't know. They could be up there in top 8, top 10 next season, but Everton, they're playing Everton this weekend, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, they gotta fight. They gotta really fight. Everton, I believe, are the only club in the league that have never been relegated, so they're seriously stressing.
Yeah, they're in trouble, but they've got out of everyone down here, they've got the best fixtures. They've got Wolves, who should be on the beaches now, and because you're looking at this, right? You're looking at this, okay, from Everton point of view. You look at this and look at Leicester's fixtures, right? They've got West Ham and Spurs. Difficult. I can't see them getting more than 3 points there. Maybe beat West Ham, you know what I mean, and then get beat off Spurs. That'll put them on 33 points. That means Everton need 1 win if you think that Leicester won't get more than 3 points. Leeds, obviously only a point behind them, but look at Leeds' fixtures. Again, West Ham and Spurs. You maybe see them get a win maybe at West Ham. Don't see them beating Spurs. They could get 3 points. That'll put them on 34. Again, 1 win for Everton. And I think that will be enough for Everton. So you look at their fixtures. They've got Wolves and Bournemouth, 2 teams that are on the beaches, two great sides to play. If you're Everton, you probably couldn't ask for better fixtures. Two teams that are safe and don't really have much to play for. Everton has to strike now, and a win against Wolves tomorrow for them. And I just think they're all but safe. I really do.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I see where you're coming from, the idea behind it, what you're saying. But I just think Lopetegui, man, I don't think he's one of these managers that says, we're on the beach. I still think he's already thinking about next season.
No,
And he
I
would
don't think any
demand.
manager does that though, bro. I think it's the players, though, innit? Like the players going out there. In my opinion, I have a view that if you're not fighting for something, you cannot fight at 100% on the pitch, because to fight for something, you've got to have a purpose. You've got to have a reason. You can't just. I just don't see a way that as a player you could go out there and give 100% if there's nothing on the line. I think you've got to mentally have something to be focused on. So, I'm not saying that they'll go out there, Wolves, and just be on the beaches and completely chill out, but that extra 1% won't be there, and that's where Everton could strike. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, listen, I fully get what you're saying. I'm kind of just trying to spin the narrative a bit to try and make see any other way around it. But yeah, you'd like to think that Everton will go all guns blazing and they'll catch Wolves on a day where they're not particularly arsed because their season's done. But you just don't know. You just don't know. And Wolves are a much better football team than Everton. So if they somewhat turn up, it'll be tough. Did you say there it's in Molineux?
It's at the Molineux, yeah.
Yeah, man. Listen, I don't know. It's just so hard to see Everton going down because it never happened before. They always seem to fight their way out of it.
To be honest, a point's not the worst result in the world, because then, unless Leeds do a madness, another point or a win at Bournemouth on the final day will keep you up. What they want to try and do here, Everton, is really avoid defeat. That's what I think they need to be.
Who do you want to go down? Who would you like to go down between Everton and Leeds and Leicester?
I don't really think that, bro. I don't really have I want this team to go down. I'm not really asked about who stays up or who goes down. And I'm not really one to say I want them to get relegated. Unless there's a team I absolutely hate, but no one down there. No one. I mean, Everton have been good to us over the years. We've had so many title races where we've had to go to Goodison Park. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, fucking hell. And and we've got the result. Leeds, big club, northern team. We need more northern teams in the Premier League, man. Too many southern teams. Leicester, I mean, that's a fascinating story, of course, because they won the Premier League back in 2016. So. I'm not really asked. Why do you want to see someone get relegated, bro? You hate one of these teams or something?
Bro, don't try to stitch me up like that.
I'm asking you. You asked me to
relegated. You know exactly.
You asked me the question. Why can't I ask you the question?
You know what I'm at.
You asked me the question,
send them all down. Send them all down, man. I can't be honest with them.
Yeah. So Everton Wolves tomorrow. That's gonna be a big game, man. And Everton really need to try and avoid defeat there. Bit of a dead game.
Sorry, I want Leicester to go down. I think they've run it really poorly. I think when you sacked Claudio Ranieri, I thought that was a big mistake. And since then, they've not run that ship properly. They could have sustained success, Leicester, and I don't mean success by Premier League every single season, but they could have kept themselves in the mix and broke that mold of traditional top six. I think they made a balls of it. So if they were to go down, it is what it is.
Okay, interesting. But yeah, a bit of a dead game in the middle. London derby though, Fulham versus Palace. Fulham. I tipped them at the beginning of the year to have a good season. They're having a great season. It's sort of tailed off a little bit. It's still their best ever Premier League points tally. So they've smashed it there. New record for Fulham. Probably could have done a little bit better, but they did have a really bad run like a month or so ago. And they're playing against Palace, who, fair play to Roy Hodgson. He's got them, I'm not going to give him too much credit, because at the end of the day, you compare his fixtures to the fixtures that Vieira had, and they were chalk and cheese. Vieira literally played everyone in the top six or something, and didn't get battered in any of them. And then as soon as all the hard games had gone, boom, he was out the door, and Roy Hodgson was in. So give credit to Roy Hodgson. He has done well since he's gone in there, but I can't really give him too much credit, because who knows? Maybe Vieira would have done the same. But yeah, I mean, decent season for Palace, finishing 12th. That's probably where they expected to finish.
Yeah, decent season, man, considering how the season went from the start to the middle kind of period. They were looking like they were really struggling. And a lot of Palace fans, I remember doing a show with a Palace fan back then when around the time Vieira was sacked, and he said it's a mistake. He wanted Vieira to stay and, you know, get another crack at the whip and, you know, try to build a team again, because I think they're going to lose a few players this summer. I know there's a lot of interest in Elise and Eze and these kind of guys. So he liked the idea of Vieira, who knows how to build a project, to have another crack at building another team, but it wasn't to be. But you can't complain too much, I suppose, if you're a Palace fan, because Hodgson came in and kept you in the Premier League. So it's about where they build from the summer, who they get in to take them forward. They don't know that yet, but dead game. Both teams, and nobody outside Fulham's fan base and Palace fan base will watch that game, because it's anyway.
Yeah. Then tomorrow night, man. 5:30 kickoff here in the UK. Forest at home to Arsenal. Massive game. Of course, the league's not won yet. And Arsenal, as painful as it is, they have to get themselves up for tomorrow's game, because the worst thing that could happen now for them is if they go out and get beat off Forest, and then City was to get beat off Chelsea, or got beat off Brighton and Brentford, and actually you had a chance to win it. Unlikely, but you have to fight until the final whistle. And Forest here currently sat in 16th place, only one loss in the last 4 games with 2 wins and a draw, and 34 points. They will, in my opinion, they should go for the shithouse. I would set up ultra defensively and try and get a point, because if you get a point, you go to 35. You know, that means that Leeds and Leicester are going to have to win and draw the final 2 games. That means the worst 2 out of the worst teams in the league are going to have to go unbeaten for the final 2 games. I would put my money on that not happening, based on the fact that they are 2 of the worst 3 teams in the league, and therefore a point for Forest should be enough to keep them in the division. So if it was me, I would just do everything possible to get a point tomorrow. I'd go ultra defensive, 2 buses, 3 buses, 4 buses, whatever, and just try and shit out a point, because that could see you safe.
Yeah, and we know from experience that they can do that. They can do that if they really apply themselves. And a point would you say as good as secure them status in Premier League next year?
I mean, you got to again look at it, bro. They get a 35 if they get a point tomorrow. That means one of these 2 teams is going to have to get to 35, because obviously they've got the better goal difference. Leeds would have to win and draw. Leicester would have to win 2.
Yeah, a point, man. A point will all but save Nottingham Forest.
And then look at the fixtures, bro. Leicester, I've got West Ham and Spurs. I see them potentially beating West Ham. I don't really see them beating Spurs. Maybe a point there. And Leeds again, West Ham and Spurs. So I just don't see. Wait, that can't be right. West Ham and Spurs. Wait, what? Oh, sorry. Yeah, Newcastle and West Ham, not West Ham. That must be a preseason. Yeah, Leicester got Newcastle away, West Ham at home. I just don't see that happening. So a point for Forest, and I think they stay up. So just shit out a point, innit?
If they do shit out a point, does that give us the Premier League?
No. We still need to draw or win.
Yeah, I want to win the league on our own accord. That's the way I view it. I won't complain if we win the league tomorrow. Of course, you win the Premier League. I'm not going to be good at it, but I'm really excited about the idea of the final whistle going in the Etihad on Sunday afternoon, and that's it. You've done
that's
it.
That's
the moment we all want. But this, like I said, who am I to complain if we are crowned champions tomorrow afternoon? But yeah, I see what you're saying, man. And you just don't know what kind of mood Arsenal are in. Like, is Arteta fueling the dressing room motivation, saying, there might be a 2% chance, but I want you to fight for that 2% chance? Or are the players going out in the pitch and saying, we fucked it, we've lost it? Like, they don't have that motivation levels. Like, the way Arsenal fans were saying last week that after we had beaten Everton, their players went out in the pitch and just went, fuck this. Like, it's done. You don't know what kind of mood Arsenal will be in, and Nottingham Forest should be up for it. They should be really, really up for it. I think it's set to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a really, really good game.
Yeah, I think that I think that Arsenal will probably win. Although a draw is very much on the cards. I just think the Arsenal players have accepted that they've lost it, bro. The most points they can get now is what, 87. City need 2 draws out of 3 games. We've won the league basically. We just need to get it official. They know that they've messed up. There's very little Arteta can say now. There's very little that they can say. It's just about personal pride for Arsenal. It's about, you've got 2 games left now. Let's see this season out, with 2 wins. You finish on 87 points. That's probably a record for Arsenal. I don't know, maybe someone can check. And you've had a fantastic season in terms of like getting 87 points. And yes, okay, I would say that you bottled it, but then they'll go again next season. What they really don't want to do now is drop points in these final 2 games, because then your season just whimpers out, and all that sort of positive energy that's around the club, it just fades to Arsenal bottled it again. And, it's just they end the season on a low. And I know they're not going to end the season on a mega high now, but they could at least end the season and go, you know what, we give it a good shot. We give it a good shot. And that's what they need to be targeting, man. So, yeah, 5:30 kickoff tomorrow, that, by the way, guys. We've got some games on Sunday as well, of course. West Ham versus Leeds. Spoke about it a little bit already. Obviously, huge game. I think Leeds actually could get a point here, or maybe even win. West Ham, massive performance in midweek against AZ Alkmaar. Put a lot into the game. And, they're safe anyway. If you look at the table, where are they? They're 15th. They're chilling. They ain't getting relegated. And Leeds will be scrapping for everything. West Ham will be tired. And, the only one thing I would say on that is the London Stadium will probably be bouncing. In fact, not probably, it should be bouncing. And I'd be very shocked if it's not bouncing. They're in a European Cup final. They should be bouncing. And maybe that could actually get them to get the win. But Leeds, I could see them picking up a point or 3 here. I think they can get something out of this game, bro.
Yeah, man. Well, they're also in a dogfight as well, so they kind of have to. And you just don't know. You don't know. Will West Ham just be full of energy and full of kind of like freedom, if you like? If they have their safety, they're in a final. Will the Bulls carry them through and they'll just beat Leeds because of that? Or will they be hungover? Because I did see a few of them having a few beers. You see the videos in the dressing room after the game when they knocked out Thingy Alkmaar. It looked like a good buzz, to be fair. So you don't know. But like you said, London Stadium should be absolutely hopping. The vibe should be immaculate. It should be a good game. It should be a good game. I'm interested to see how that pans out.
Yeah. And of course, if Everton do drop points on Saturday, that means Leeds incentivizes them even more to get a result, because they're only one goal behind on the goal difference. But of course, if Everton get beat, then they'll be level, and a win or a point for Leeds would then take them out of the relegation zone with 1 game to play. So that's why the Everton game tomorrow is absolutely huge. What else we got? We got Brighton versus Southampton. Not really much going on there. Of course, Southampton now relegated, of course, bottom of the league. And Brighton, it's a bit of a weird one. They can obviously finish the highest points tally they've probably ever had in the league, which is great for them. And again, similar to Arsenal, of course, they do have European football to fight for. Similar to Arsenal, they want to be going out on a high. They don't want to be going out. They've got 3 games left. Of course, they've got to play City in that as well. They don't want to be dropping points in these last 3 games and going out on a bit of a lull. They want to finish strong. They want to put pressure on Liverpool. They want to finish 6th or maybe 5th if possible. And similar to Arsenal, just go out on a real high, man.
Yeah, they've had an unbelievable season. De Zerbi, he is in the conversation for manager of the season, and he'll want to go out and high. Like I think you're right. There's a certain psychology to when you have a great season, you want to finish strong and take that high into the summer, so you can have a good summer transfer window and go again next season. You want the fans to feel like when the last whistle goes, we finished strong, great season, all around, wrap it up, job done. You don't want to whimper out, as you say. I think whimpering out would be a bit of a disappointment for them, but yeah, man, if they get Europa League football or something like that, absolutely buzzing for them. Southampton are gone, so the game is kind of dead a bit. But yeah, big up Brighton, man. I genuinely big up Brighton. Top team this season.
Yeah, I agree. Big up Stallion with the 12-month member chat. Says it's really weird. I'm so excited and happy in the past few weeks, but we haven't won anything yet. What will happen if we win the treble? Mind blowing. It's crazy, isn't it? Crazy if we win the treble, bro. Then that's different gravy, man. A big up for the 12 months as well, Stallion, bro. We'll come to City last. Let's go to the other game. Newcastle versus Leicester. Of course, Newcastle still at slight risk, you could say, of not finishing in the top 4. They need to obviously they did big, didn't they? Obviously with the Brighton result, but I think they just need the max. They need 2 points, so they need 1 win. So a win for Newcastle and they secure top 4, which would be great for them. They pretty much got it now anyway, but 1 single win and they get it across the line. Yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting next season. I think that for them, they need to really bolster their squad with squad players, because The differences between this year and next year is Bruno Guimaraes isn't going to be able to play every game. Joe Linton's not going to be able to play every game. Isak's not going to be able to play every game. The defenders are not going to be able to play. They're going to have to bolster the squad because they're going to be playing Champions League. They're going to want to get out of the group stages. Maybe they might have a good run at a cup competition, FA Cup or Carabao Cup. Remember, this team has not won trophy in over 30 odd years or something like that. So it's pretty crazy. But yeah, fantastic season for them. Bolster the squad in the summer. I believe that they've signed Kieran Tierney. I don't know if you've seen that, bro.
I saw some journalists say it, but I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, no, I don't know who he was either, but he looked fairly reputable, and yeah, so I don't know if it's 100% true, but apparently they've signed Kieran Tierney, and there's always been that thing as well that Kieran Tierney wants to get back closer to Scotland, where his family is. So it makes sense. But yeah, them sort of signings, bolstering the squad, so they can really deal with the 38 game plus 6 in the cup, plus 6 Champions League games, plus maybe a couple. Games in the cups as well. That's what they need to do in the summer. But great year for them.
Unbelievable year, man. Unbelievable. Way over exceeded what was expected of them. But yeah, listen, they're playing against Leicester, and it's kind of ironic because I know that they really want James Maddison, and they could possibly send or close to send Leicester down with a win against them this weekend, and that might help them in their pursuit of James Maddison. And yeah, them in the Champions League, Newcastle fully deserved. I think the aim for them next season should be to get their hands on some silverware, whatever competition it may be, and then enjoy their Champions League run, because they're not expected to go on and win that, but they're definitely one for us to be concerned about over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, because they're going to be up there. They're going to be up there. Expect them. The way we say sharks in the water, that's us. They are the next shark that's going to be joining us in the water. So get ready for Newcastle, man. But
I think for me, I'm slightly different on my opinion to what you just said. I think their goal next year should be to finish in the top 4 again. And the reason I say that is because getting in the top 4 when you've got no European football, to getting in the top 4 when you're playing Champions League football, that is tough. I think their goal next season should be get out of the group if possible, the Champions League. Obviously, it all depends on the draw. But if you can get out of the group, massive W, and get back in the top 4. If they do that, get back in the top 4, I think the year after, with an extra summer transfer window, bolster the squad even more, get even more quality in, then maybe really have a good run at the cup. But for me, honestly, I think their goal next season should just be getting the top 4. It's very easy for people to go, oh yeah, Newcastle will get top 4 next season. Not sure. Liverpool are going to be back. Arsenal are going to improve. United, if they get Kane, will definitely finish in the top 4. That's 4 teams straight away that could be finishing in the top 4. So for me, I think Newcastle's aim next season should just be to get back in that top 4 and try and get out of the group at the Champions League the year after, with that extra 2 summers transfer windows. Then maybe get a cup. Of course, though, if they can manage to get to a cup final again, then big up for them. Obviously, Leicester, we spoke about them a bit already. Ain't looking good for them. Currently sat in 19th. Form stinks. Unbelievable season. I mean, how is this the best team that's ever been relegated?
You mean in terms of quality on the pitch, in the squad?
Yeah. I mean, look at the team that they had.
Yeah, no, it's a serious team, for relegation.
Vardy, Harvey Barnes, Tielemans, Maddison, Sumare, Ndidi.
And the thing is, they will
not a bad player.
They will maybe hold on to 2 of those players as well. All of those players will go this summer. So I don't know how they get back up. They're in real limbo right now, Leicester. That whole squad, everybody in that whole squad will have suitors this summer. It's just amazing that they found themselves in this position right now. It really is, with the quality they had there. It's at least a mid-table standard team in terms of quality.
I agree, mate. Look at Tete. He's a good player. Patson Daka.
Remember that Patson Daka? Remember when he was at, I think was it Leipzig he was at? He was tipped to be a serious number 9. And it's just not happened. He's just not cracked it.
Exactly. Well, the problem, I think one of the problems that likes of Iheanacho and Daka have had is that they've failed to move Vardy on. They've always sort of been like, by the way, Daka was a £30 million signing. I think they brought in Iheanacho, they brought in Slimani, they brought in Daka, and none of them have really been brought in and said, right, you're our number 1 striker, because they've always had Vardy linking around. They're still playing Vardy now. Do you know what I mean? I think they kind of
playing Vardy, man. They needed to move Vardy on a couple of years ago. They should have cashed in on Vardy when his stocks were somewhat high. Send him to somewhere like Arsenal or wherever, Arsenal or I don't even know who else needed a striker, but they could have moved him on when his stocks were somewhat high and bring in the kind of next generation of Leicester players who were going to keep them at or sustain the level that they wanted to stay at. It was poor management. It was poor management from whoever the manager was, Brendan Rodgers, and maybe whoever else was there before him.
Yeah, and of course, the game that really matters for us, Manchester City versus Chelsea. Of course, we'll do our main preview tomorrow on this, but quick thoughts from me is that I think we'll win. I'm confident we'll win. Chelsea are very poor, and I think the way we're playing at the moment, the confidence that's running through the squad, I would be very, very upset and disappointed if we didn't win this game. Desperate. I like Pep Guardiola. He said today in his press conference he's desperate to win the Premier League at the Etihad. He really doesn't really want to win it away from home. You want to win it at the Etihad if you have the option to do so, and I completely agree. We want to win it on Sunday, and I think in the end we will get that win. I'm confident we will win the game on Sunday.
I think we'll smash them. I think genuinely we'll smash them. I think the motivation will be so high. I think the energy will be so high after Wednesday night. You know, to get a win on Wednesday night, it felt like you had won a trophy. That's how big it was. The vibe in the stadium, it was so exciting. To get the opportunity to emulate that again on Sunday and actually lift the trophy with a packed out Etihad Stadium, all season ticket holders and City fans, all that kind of thing. The players will be excited. They'll really want it. I think that hunger against a Chelsea team that are finished. They're finished for the season. They've packed it up there. They've booked their flights to Miami, Dubai, wherever the fuck they're going. I think we'll steamroll them. I never say that. I never say we'll smash anybody. I just think this Sunday you could witness a massacre, and I hope so. Because I'm going to be there selfishly. I want to see the trophy again.
Yeah, man, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Hopefully, we get the win. Of course, if you're not going to the game, make sure you join us for the watch along celebration. The champagne is on ice, Brie, and hopefully we'll get that W. We can celebrate what has been again another unbelievable Premier League season. And again, I just go back to when people say, "Oh, this is becoming the Bundesliga." Mate, what are people on about, man? Like, literally, all but one of our titles has been very, very close, So, these are high emotional seasons, and it's Pep Guardiola said today in his press conference, it's the main trophy that they want to go for. This is the one that he focuses on. Exactly the same reasons that I give. He says you don't play football for 11 months and not aim to win the trophy. So he's on the same vision that I'm on. Premier League first, always, and yeah, I can't wait, man. It's just something about the Premier League, bro.
Yeah, no, the Premier League trophy, absolutely. I hope we can do it. I think we will. But all this thing about, all these rival fans who are so salty about us dominating, saying, "Oh, our league is becoming the Bundesliga. It's everything we always laughed at." It's your fault. It's your fault that if you think this league is becoming a Bundesliga, it's all of your club's fault for not being good enough. I don't mean like the mid-table teams, the relegation teams, but the teams that have spent big dough. Your Chelsea's with their 600 millions. United, who have spent more than us. Liverpool, they failed to refresh their team. Arsenal spend a bit of dough. They bottled it this season. We've just been consistent in our progress and our transition, and we've sustained the level that we're at. And you've all failed to join us. So Bundesliga, your fault.
Yeah, well said, bro. Well said. Well, there you go. That's the Premier League preview. Big week at the bottom and the top of the table. And of course, a little bit of pressure still on United to get that top four confirmed. Main preview for the game on Sunday coming tomorrow. So make sure you join us for that one. But yeah, some good football on tomorrow. Obviously, you got the 12:30 kickoff. Tottenham, are they going to implode again? Mate, that club's just balmy. And of course, Arsenal later on at 5:30 versus Nottingham Forest, man. So there we go. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this stream and a little bit of insight into this weekend's games. Is this going to be the weekend, guys, that Manchester City lift that Premier League title? Don't go anywhere, because on Sunday we could be lifting the Premier League. See you in a bit, people.